Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall, and on today's show, we're going to be visiting with people from the United Way of Steele County to get an update about the campaign that's going on. And also, we're going to visit with Mike Jensen about Tri-M Graphics' annual calendar. Hopefully, maybe we get a sneak peek. I don't know. Stay with us after word from our sponsors. We will be right back with the United Way campaign update.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. Check our website for current exhibits and monthly programs.
We are joined now by United Way Executive Committee members Shane Sattler and Janie Roloff. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So you're going to have good news for us about the United Way and their campaign?
Well, the good news is that we have a United Way, that we've got our corporate campaign going on, that we are involved in a lot of different things here in Steele County. So lots of good news to share.
Great. Well, before we get started on that, we know that you're on the executive committee. What exactly is your role?
I serve as the secretary for the United Way Board of Directors.
And how about you, Janie?
My role is treasurer, so I get to count all that money.
All right, and in your non-executive committee member roles, when you're in your day jobs, what do you do, Shane?
Well, I work at Federated Insurance as a project manager in the IS department.
All right, IS, Information Systems.
Close.
Great.
I am in the accounting area at Federated with Shane, so I'm a manager over there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so exactly where you should be then with the United Way doing the finances. That's good. All
Match
right.
up those talents.
Smart.
That's
They're
right.
pretty matching the talents. That's right. That's part of what United Way does, right?
Exactly.
Indeed.
Let's talk about that. We'll talk about what United Way does. Do we first want to just find out, though, let's just learn a little bit about the campaign this year. When did it start? When does it end? How much do we want to raise?
Do you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Started this fall, and we're looking to meet our goal this year of $670,000, which is pretty similar to our goal from last year, and we'd really like to hit that. So we don't have an exact number for you on where we're at along the way. That does change day by day, which is good, but we're working hard to meet that goal. It ends at the end of the year, and at the same point, we'll take money whenever, but we would like to try to raise that during campaign time. That allows us to set our promises going forward to some of those agencies. So we use what we raise during the campaign to determine how much can be given away later on when we do that process.
Sure, just like anybody, you need to have a budget.
Exactly.
Right? And so you have to be able to manage that budget and know how you're going to spend it,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
one other thing, we've got some wonderful partners. Some of the businesses in Steele County do an amazing job of running their own workplace campaigns. Now, at Federated, we've actually just finished our campaign, so that's something we were very excited about. We're able to report that we were able to set a goal that was 5% better than last year's giving, and we met that goal.
Great.
So that's an exciting thing for Federated.
That's one, and for the community. So Federated is a big contributor for the United Way campaign, and they met their goal, which was increased from the previous year.
It was increased. Mr. Fetters made it clear that this is an important part of our community and our company's place in our community.
All right, yeah, and we have 2 Federated people sitting here. Jeez, thanks, Federated. And who else is having campaigns? What other companies do we want to acknowledge for their campaigns?
Think of a big company in our community, and quite likely they have a campaign. Interestingly, one of the new companies on the scene this year is Napa. The Napa Distribution Center is our corporate campaign leader, and that's an exciting thing. It's a little bit different than some of the campaign leaders we've had in previous years. They bring what I sort of think of as a bit of a blue-collar ethic and feel to the campaign that I think is very exciting and speaks to a lot of the people in our community about why and how to give.
Well, and big businesses are great and they're needed, and small businesses, though, are even more plentiful. There are many, many more small businesses, and so getting the small business involved is a very good idea. So,
yes, and the Napa Distribution Center has done such a great job with the campaign, and they have this platform of, if everybody gives $1, and it doesn't necessarily matter the amount, give what you can. Some can give more than others, but just think if every single person was giving something or what they could, how that would add up so quickly. And I think that's really, spoken to people's hearts and shown that every little bit can make a difference. Exactly what you were saying with the small businesses.
Sure, and doesn't that also speak to some of what the United Way's core values are? The three things that what are the three things that you're advocating?
We certainly talk about giving, advocating, and volunteering. And I mean, those are kind of, if you like, the cornerstones of how a philanthropic organization like ours works. This is our corporate campaign time. We are here to remind you of the good works that the United Way helps us as a community to achieve. That can't happen without your dollars. But we also, just sitting here, the two of us are advocating. We want others to make a change. We want others to make a difference, and we'll help as best we can to make that happen. And of course, volunteering is critical to any community group like this, and not just for the United Way, but for the partner agencies.
Most of them rely on volunteers very strongly, right?
Very much so, very much so. It's part of what makes our community so wonderful is that we have so many volunteers, we have so many people willing to give of their time and their money. But really thinking about, at the end of the day, I know it does come down to $670,000 as a goal, but in less measurable terms, what we're after can't necessarily be quantified. We're trying to make Steele County a better place to live.
Sure, get people involved, and you're going to have a better place to live, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the goal, and that leads me to also talk about the partner agencies, because this goal exists for a reason. We want to support certain agencies. I'd like to know a little bit about the agencies involved and the ways that you've determined that they are contributing to the community.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. We have 24 different agencies or partner agencies that we work with, and they go through a rigorous application process. They, submit a large packet of information, and then the community forms different committees depending on the types of organizations, and they, meet with them, go through all the information, and that committee then meets together and decides exactly what agency they want to partner with, how much they want to give, and all of those things. So, they have to have their ducks in a row. They have to be showing that they're making a difference. They have to show that, that money is being used wisely. So that's one of the best parts about the United Way is when you give your money to the United Way, that research has been done and the methods are proving to be helpful. It's not just, I think we'll try to give our money here and see what happens.
Sure.
So.
I know I give to some agencies, and I'll look online, if they're national agencies, for example, like Charity Navigator or other things, and try and figure out, are they actually people who I should trust with my money? But so you're with United Way, these 24 agencies, did you say, are vetted fully. They have an interview, they go through the whole schmear of, what are they doing and are they doing it well and how are they going to spend your money?
And this might be a good time to also point out that we, as a United Way, as a county-based United Way, are also under the auspices of the United Way worldwide. And we've actually been vetted by them and reported to be doing exceptionally well as a United Way.
That's good to know. You've been vetted too, and you're doing well. That's good to know. How has United Way changed? Because it has changed in recent years. It's no longer just, here we are the folks who you can trust with your money to be able to invest it wisely in your community. What is new with United Way?
Well, about 5 years ago or so, we started to try to explore the different barriers to success here in Steele County. We partnered not only with our agencies and the directors, but with a professional research group. We had outreaches, and many of the people watching your show will remember that we had meetings community-wide, forums, etc., where we began to explore these barriers and to narrow it down as to what can we actually affect that will make Steele County a better place to live. We boiled it down to really 3 key areas, which were health, income, and education, and identifying the barriers to success for different people in our community proved extremely useful. Now, Tanya Paley is the Director of Strategic Operations here in Steele County, and she is helping to put things in place for each of those areas, more than I can possibly mention here, so please go online and take a look. But we are slowly removing some of those barriers from some of the people who need the most help.
Sure. Are you doing so using some of the agencies in the community as well as the new programs that you're also developing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
Yep, we're trying to partner with those agencies when possible and set up programs through them. Some of them are programs on their own, but we've been lucky enough to get a number of grants that have allowed us to set up kind of separate programs. We do have the Women's Leadership Council that was formed a couple years ago, and they've been doing their own separate fundraising and have really pushed forward with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which gives books to young kids, and I think that's spoken to a lot of people's hearts. We've had a lot of good involvement with the community on that one too. So
and over 1,000 children served.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the children get a book from what is it? How young until for several years?
Yes,
they get free books every year.
Every month from the day they're born until they turn 5.
Oh,
so they get a book in the mail. Nothing better than a book, except for a book in the mail. Everybody likes to get that mail.
That's great.
That's right.
Yeah.
Neat. 60 books, is that about right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That
Good
is,
math.
That is, yeah. Well, a little something. So I like to hear that what you're saying is you do partner with these agencies in those 3 areas that you've identified as barriers, because I know that United Way, one of the things is try not to duplicate.
Exactly.
Right. So these are the things that you are doing are things that are not already being done necessarily.
That's right. And we've served over 14,000 people just in the last year, just here in Steele County.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us a little bit more about how we can give if people who are watching would like to donate to the United Way and thereby donate to the agencies in town. Let's let folks know.
First things first, go online, unitedwaysteelcounty.org. If your workplace has a campaign, by all means, get involved. Help out. Otherwise, hey, stop by the office on North Cedar.
Sure,
Talk to
right
Kim.
downtown?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, we'll be ready and definitely willing to take that.
Okay. Any phone number? What's the phone number that if people have questions, they can call Kim, the executive director, or Tanya?
It's on the screen,
Ah,
451-1180.
Okay,
Or
great.
455-1180, sorry.
All right. Well, Janie and Shane, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for serving on the United Way Executive Committee. We appreciate your work.
Thank you,
for having
Francy.
us.
Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Mike Jensen and the 2015 Triumph Graphics calendar after a word from our sponsors.
United Way is all about
a safety net in times of crisis.
Strong, safe, healthy community.
children and youth achieving their potential.
Healthy children.
Independent and stable families. Better health of community members.
Please join us and all Napa Distribution Center employees by giving generously, advocating for a better quality of life, and volunteering your time. We all win when we live united.
The majority of fatal home fires happen at night when people are sleeping. Smoke alarms give you time to escape. We recommend that you have a smoke alarm in every sleeping room of the house and on every floor in the common living areas. Smoke alarms should be tested monthly, and batteries should be replaced at least once a year. This is a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hello, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Michael Mager with the Brick Mager Funeral Home and the Medford Funeral Home. At Brick Mager, we are privileged to have served the families of Steele County community for 118 years.
Whether you choose traditional burial or cremation, we promise the tribute your loved one deserves with the peace of mind that you require.
We are proud to be part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We are here with Mike Jensen from Trian Graphics, and we're going to be talking about the 2016 calendar. Is it called the community calendar? What do we call this?
Well, it's our annual photo calendar for us, but it's turned into a community project for sure. It truly has.
Yeah, absolutely. And so do we get a sneak peek at all? No.
Well, we're going to let you today, just for your viewers, are going to get to see one of the photos.
Okay, and you have to wait for that, okay? But so
we're
otherwise,
building excitement.
Yes, build the excitement. Otherwise, we have examples.
These are previous covers from previous years. This actually, the one on the my right here, your left, is last year's winning entry for the cover. And that was actually our very own Leanne Alt.
Was last
took
year's?
that photo.
Really?
And Leanne, was that in Wisconsin?
It was in Wisconsin by outside of Bayfield.
Outside of Bayfield, Wisconsin, at a like a flea market or a thrift store.
It was a junky antique store.
A junky antique store.
A junk store. Leanne took that.
But didn't that turn out really cool?
Wow.
I mean, just the imagery. That one,
it is.
When we go through our process, it truly rose to the top and was one that we truly enjoyed and thought that should definitely be in the calendar.
That is exciting. Leanne is our producer, of course, as you know, and also operates the camera, among other things. And so, of course, that makes sense that you would win this. How long has this been happening? How long have you had this contest?
The calendar contest started in 1995, so it's been going for a while. When we first started the contest, the whole thing for us as a company, we're a printing company, was to be able to show our printing and let people know how we could handle 4-color, how we could work with images, those sorts of things. But it was truly before the digital age. And, the computers were there and you're working with computers, but it certainly wasn't to the degree or the way that it is today. This here is actually the cover I'm trying to get it without the glare, the cover of the 1995, the very first calendar. When we first started, we actually, I think we maybe had 100 photos entered. I mean, it was maybe, if we were lucky. And mostly they came from photographers who, oops, we don't want to see me. There we go. Let her zoom back. Don't need to see the close-ups.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, it started primarily with photographers, and we would call in actually a few photographers to help us judge and evaluate the calendar. And what we hadn't anticipated was that it kind of became this community thing, that the community really has interest in this and follow the calendar. They look for their calendar every year, and so it's kind of mushroomed into this much bigger thing than we ever anticipated that it could. Now that we're into it over 20 plus years, this year I think we had 740, I wrote my note down somewhere, anyway, 743 I think entries this year to the contest.
That is a lot. How does that compare with the the Steele County Free Fair?
I don't know how many entries they have in their photography area. It's probably similar in that sense. And we judge and evaluate them all in one evening.
Who does that?
What we've done is, and that's a good question, we actually changed partway through and realized, you know what? The people we want to evaluate this are the people that are going to use the calendar. So we, this year, have a couple of retired people. We have people, in various forms of business that are on. We had a panel of, I think it was 13 judges this year that judged and evaluate the calendar.
I want to see how this goes down. You have 13 people all in one night looking at how many photos?
743 from 44 states.
Oh, I didn't know that it was a multi.
It's national.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness!
Yeah, and this isn't the top. The 2 years ago, we I think it was 760 some photos from 49 states. So we slipped a little. We lost a couple of states.
So
we'll have to get them back.
So the people who the photographers do they live in those states, or are they local people? Okay.
No, they do. They live in those states. And part of the way that works is in the digital age and social media and all of that. I mean, that's how the photos are coming in. I am happy to report that I think 50% of our photos, so 6 photos this year, are actually local photos. And that just happens by chance because when the judges evaluate the photos, it's all done blind.
So they don't know whether this is from a local?
They don't get to know where it's from.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is it's a multi-round process. Round 1, all 13 judges sit in a room and we hold each of the photos up. And they check on their little sheet, yes or no. Would they want this hanging in their office, their home, their business for a month? Would they want to look at this for a month?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's really what we're going at is that, first, you're not looking at it for quality at that point. You're just, do I want to see that image for a month? And so we make it through that round. Round 2, we go back through, and then they have to raise their hands if they voted yes or no as we go through the photos. And it has to have over a 50% vote to move on to the next round.
Someone has to count hands every time.
Yep. 740 sometimes we do that. And so
how much coffee do you drink?
We have plenty of chocolate. Let's say there's lots of chocolate and candy. But we whittle it down then pretty quickly to a small select group. Then we start to divide them into months, or into seasons first. And then from there we start dividing into months. Then at that point in time, somebody can lobby to bring a photo back from what we call the dead.
Oh.
Meaning it was out in round 1, but you could lobby to bring it back because, you know what, after I thought about it, they can convince the others, and that's when the group gets really fun because they start to debate, they have passion about their photo, and they're advocating for their photo that they want to have in. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of fun to see that happen.
Just to be clear, these 13 people who are going through this process, they are locals.
They are locals.
They are the locals. Okay.
Yep. Regional, right in this area. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so they are the ones who are deciding this. Well, that's good because they're neighbors. They've got to see each other, so they have to be nice to each other.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't get that bad, but it's fun. I'd say it'd be a great study in like sociology or psychology or whatever, because when they start out, they're all really timid and shy, but by the time you get to the end and you start advocating for a photo you want in, it's fun to watch that group dynamics, play out that way.
How do you choose who gets to be on that committee?
We look to a variety of different things, people that we know, people that are maybe customers of ours, clients. It's a fun way for us to connect with them for an evening and create some energy that way. So, that's how we kind of pull them together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what we do each year is we hold out the unveiling. That's why I really haven't brought the photos today, although I think Leanne maybe slipped one in on us, and we're going to get to see one because I'll let you know, Leanne was a winner this year. Again, she is Miss October. I'll hold it up.
Oh my gosh.
I always wanted to be a talented girl.
Miss October.
There is Miss October.
And her husband.
There you go. Now, where was this taken at, Leanne?
Lavelle, Wisconsin.
Lavelle, Wisconsin. There's something about you in Wisconsin. It's kind of lucky for you.
Yeah, I guess.
So there's Lavelle, Wisconsin. This is October's photo.
That makes perfect sense.
Isn't it the cutest photo?
It is really cute.
That was in pretty much round 1. If people want to see the all 740 or some photos, we actually will have them all on display on Saturday, the 14th of November, at our business at Tri-M. From 10 until 1, we hold an open house, and we put all 740 photos on display. And then people can stop by and pick up their free calendar.
Now, is that the only way to get this in our hands?
No, you can come anytime after that, but that's the first chance you have to get it is at the open house.
And we can only get them at Tri-M.
You can only get them at Tri-M Graphics. That's the only place. And so, we'll have people, they've already started calling asking if the calendar's out yet. they're wanting to know because they follow it, they track it. This year for the open house, we are spicing things up a bit, and our entire upper level is going to be filled with children's activities. We have the Arts Center, the I'm trying to think who all else is there, Park and Rec, Trinity Nursery School, and Cedar Kids are all doing various hands make and take type activities for children. So we encourage families to come out. It's a great family event. There'll be cookies, cider, juice, all those kinds of things. Hands-on activities, the calendar. It's a fun event.
So this is Saturday,
November 14th.
November 14th coming up. So wonderful. Thank you. Well, thank
thanks
you
for letting me be here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for the sneak peek. We appreciate that, Leanne.
I broke a rule. I'm going to be in trouble when I get back to the
on
office.
Miss October. Did the other people know who?
No. Well, they do. The winners know.
Okay, they know.
The winners know.
Well, thanks again. Hey, stay with us after word from our sponsors. We'll be back with our community announcements.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
I'm Deb Gillard. And I'm Shawn McNulty with Brookdale Owatonna Senior Living Solutions.
We are assisted living and Alzheimer's and dementia care communities here in Owatonna, and formerly known as Clare Bridge and Sterling House.
And we are proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We are your community connection, and these are your community announcements. Toys for Tots, they have begun collecting toys, and also you can sign up if you are somebody who would like to get some of those toys, if you need toys for the holidays for your little ones. Go to owatonna/mn.toysfortots.org for more information on where to drop off toys and how to also apply to get those toys. The blood drive, community blood drive, is taking place at St. Joseph's Church Wednesday, that's today, and tomorrow and Friday. Today, noon to 6, get to St. Joseph's to give blood. Tomorrow, noon to 6, and then Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., again at St. Joseph's Church. For more information, go to redcrossblood.org. Pastimes at the Owatonna Arts Center. There is going to be a wonderful array of handcrafted arts available to you, and that is November 5th, 6th, and 7th at the Arts Center. Call 451-0533 for more information. Also this Saturday, the Early Childhood Family Education Bazaar and Bake Sale. That's to benefit the Owatonna Early Childhood Family Education programs, and it's free admission. Again, this is something where you have all kinds of fun vendors that you can buy from for the holidays or other things, and that is at McKinley School from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. November 7th. Steele County Historical Society has 2 children's programs coming up. One of them is taking place tomorrow on the 5th, 9 a.m. and at 6:30 p.m. And the topic is the clothes from winters long ago. Kids will learn about the experience of what children wore in the early 1900s. Owatonna Hospital Auxiliary is hosting its 53rd annual Holiday Bazaar on Friday, November 6th from 9:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. at the Owatonna Hospital. Also on Saturday, November 7th from 9:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Steele County Public Health has flu vaccines at Roosevelt School in Owatonna, November 7th from 9 to noon. The Historical Society is putting on the glitz. The Steele County Historical Society annual meeting is scheduled for November 12th at 7 p.m. Reservations must be received by November 6th. Cost is $20 per person. Thank you so much for joining us. Do come back and join us on Friday. We'll have the Owatonna Lions Club and St. Paul's Episcopal Church 75th Annual Bazaar.